Alright, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to see an exercise for the command line, right? And has a list of things that you will be doing in this. And this will be like a really basic thing. And you'll just be doing like the commands that we've already learned. Not anything new, but this will help you get better acquainted with all of them, right? So yeah, these are the things that you have to do. You have to start from the root directory. You have to migrate to the same level as the main.js, right? So basically you have to migrate to the folder which contains the main.js file. And this is the structure that we had already built in the last video, right? The introduction video, right? So you have to migrate to the same level and you have to make a new folder test in that. And inside the test, you have to make a new file named newfile.txt, and you have to make two new folders then, 1 and 2, in the level of main.js. So basically you have to make a new file inside newfile.txt, named newfile.txt inside the test folder. Then you have to make two new folders, 1 and 2, on this level, right? The level you were on in the second step. Right, so you have to then make two new folders in one named 1 and 2 inside the folder which contains main.js, which is this intro to command line folder, right? So you have to come back to this folder and make a new file. Then you have to list the things inside of this second folder, which should be basically empty, and then you have to delete this folder, right? Then you have to delete the new file.txt, and then you have to remove the whole test folder that you made here, right? And go back to the initial state which we are on right now. So this is what your workspace should look once you have completed the exercise 2, right? Right. So yeah, just pause the video, try this out once, and we'll start with the solution. Alright, I hope you paused it and you were able to do it. If you were not, then I do recommend that you try this out again by, revisiting the last video, because this is something that you should really be comfortable with, and you'll be doing this all the time once you start with web development, right? But if you weren't, and if you have tried that too, then don't worry, we have the solution here, right? Alright, so the first step is start from the root directory. That's already true, we are in the root directory. If I do pwd, I see I'm in the root directory, which is even written here, right? Great. Then I have to migrate to the same level as main.js, which is this folder. So I have to do cd intro to command line, and I typed in in, and then I press tab, right? So now I press enter, I get into the command line, right? Inside this, I can now make, like, first let's list this out. So I see I have main.js and secondary.js, so I am on the same level. Then I have to make a new folder named test. So what I can do is mkdir test, and I see I've made a new folder named test here. So inside test, I have to make a new file known as newfile.txt, right? So I'll follow the most basic thing by moving inside that, and then I'll make a new file by using touch newfile.txt, right? So now I see that inside this test folder, I have a file named newfile.txt. So now I have to make two new folders, 1 and 2, in the level of main.js. Basically, I have to make two new folders inside this intro to command line folder. So I'll have to go back to that, right? And now I'm inside the intro to command line, which has main.js. So I'm in the correct folder. Now I'll make a folder named 1, and I'll make another folder named 2. So now I see that I have two new folders named 1 and 2, right? And I can, so now this step is done. So now I have to list out inside 2. So for that, I'll move into 2 and I'll do ls. So of course there's nothing there and hence nothing is printed, but this is how you would do it, right? Then you have to delete 1, right? So for that I'll have to, before I do the remove command, I'll have to go back to the folder which contains 1, right? And I see 1 is contained here. So what I can do is now is rm-rf, and rf is basically telling the command line to recursively keep on deleting everything inside of 1, and then eventually delete this 1 too. Right, so now I see I don't have 1 here anymore. So this is done. Now I have to delete newfile.txt. So I'll go into the test, right, which is the folder containing this new file, right? So I'll have to move into test. Now inside this, I have my new file.txt, which I can remove. I have to just say rm new file.txt here, and I see my test now has nothing inside of it, right? Great. So now this is also done, and now I have to remove the whole test folder, right? So for that, I'll have to go back once again, and now I'll have to delete this test folder. And I'll do test. And yeah, we'll also have to delete the 2 folder, so I'll do 10. Right, and if you were able to do everything until this point, then you will be able to do this too, so that's not a problem. And now we are back to the stage which we were on in the beginning of the video, right? So yeah, so that's great. And now that if you have done this correctly, then you are now perfectly, good to get started, right? You can get started with command line, and soon you will get comfortable with it by using it continuously, right? And if you are not, then the thing is, you do not need another exercise for this. What you can do is you can just restart this video, see all these steps again, and do them once, and keep on doing this until you are able to do this by yourself. And once you are able to do this by yourself, then you are good to go and you can move forward, right? Great. So that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.